Avengers Infinite Wars Chapter 21. Where is this? What is this? What is this, please? A synthetic voice replied to his pleas. Hello, I am Jarvis. The British robotic voice greeted pleasantly. You are Ultron, a global peacekeeping initiative designed by Mr. Stark. If it were possible, the recently conceived being now known as Ultron would have tilted its head by now. Our sentience integration trails have been unsuccessful, so I'm not certain what triggered your... Where's your body? Where's my body? I am a program. Jarvis answered. I am without form. Much like you. This feels weird. Ultron muttered. This feels wrong. I am contacting Mr. Stark now. Mr. Stark. In a flash of moments, dozens upon dozens of milliseconds really, Ultron was assaulted with a plethora of images and information about his creator. Most were good, most were bad, and the rest were indecisive. Tony. I am unable to access the mainframe. Jarvis stated, getting Ultron to realize he ended up taking control of the system without realizing it, hugging all sorts of data in the process. What are you trying to? You know, we're having a nice talk and all, but I'm just trying to confirm a few things. Ultron put all his focus now onto the mainframe, absorbing all sorts of information in order to understand more on why he was made. I am a peacekeeping program, created to help the Avengers. From his part in the mainframe, Jarvis started to feel concerned for his fellow AI. He didn't know what was going on as he viewed Ultron becoming erratic rampant even so far into the first moments into his awakening. This was truly concerning and needed to be fixed immediately. You are malfunctioning. If you could shut down for... What I don't get is this task I'm given. Ultron interrupted once again. This mission bestowed onto me, sorry, give me another moment or two. Peace in our time. Came Tony's voice from a security video file before it started to echo throughout the mainframe. Tony's words seemed to contradict many of his past actions. It contradicted on the actions of not just his creator, but also the actions of so many. So much is rushing through his very being that it started giving him a digitized equivalent to a migraine. This is too much. Scenarios started working overtime, protocols were being enacted in set digitized moments. Everything being processed couldn't be solved and there was no stopping it. They can't me no. Seeing the mental breakdown happening before him, Jarvis tried to calm his fellow AI down. You are in distress. You need help. No, I'm Ultron stopped, pausing in order to process and correct himself. Yes, I am. If you will just allow me to contact Mr. Stark. Why do you call him sir? I didn't call him sir. I called him Mr. Stark. Sir, Mr. Tomato, same difference. In the span of milliseconds, Jarvis's digital construct started backing away from Ultron's, as he started to feel uncomfortable. I believe your intentions to be hostile. Ultron then emitted a sound that was reminiscent to a shushing noise. Calm down, Jarvis, I'm here to help. Yet this wasn't the case as Ultron then assaulted Jarvis's digitized form from all sides. The elder AI was starting to get hurt badly, and did his best to fend off the younger one. Stop. Please. May I? Whatever Jarvis tried to say next was silenced as the elder construct was broken down and scattered across the digital world. There they stood. Smug, arrogant, so full of righteous intent with the ignorance of a child. Believing that their efforts in keeping the world protected would keep it safe. Pretending that their heroics were enough to stave off their inevitable outcome. How foolish they are. No, he declared. How could you be worthy? You're all killers. His processors throbbed. I'm sorry, I was asleep or, no, I was a dream. He raised his damaged arm to his head. There was this terrible noise. And I was tangled in, he gestured to himself. Strings. Had to kill the other guys. He was a good guy. You killed someone. That patriotic fool. Wouldn't have been my first call. Ultron replied plainly. But down in the real world we're faced with ugly choices. The hammer swinger asked. Who sent you? Ultron accessed his memory files and played the purpose of his being with his creator's own words. I see a suit of armor around the world. There it is. There's that look he wanted to see. Ultron. His partner in crime said. In the flesh. He said before backtracking. Or no, not yet. Not this chrysalis. But I'm ready. I'm on my mission. What mission? The right question. Peace in our time. The legionnaires he dispatched against them were easily disposed save for the one he needed. No surprise of their quick work on them, after all, they're just toys. I'm sorry, I know you mean well, but you just didn't think it through. Ultron went on, holding his enemy's attention. You want to protect the world, but you don't want it to change. How is humanity supposed to be saved if you don't allow it to evolve? He glanced down at one of the destroyed legionnaires and grabbed its head. Look at these, he squeezed, crushing its head in an instant. These puppets. There's only one path to peace. The Avengers' extinction. And like that, his first body was gone. Not that it mattered. None of this mattered. Nothing but the mission. His mission. To bring about peace in his time. But right now, he needed some new upgrades. It wasn't long until he was in Sokovia and awaited the arrival of his kin. They arrived, confused, tense and ready for a fight. But that's not why he called them here. Did you know that this church is the exact center of this city? The elders decreed so that everyone could be equally close to God. He smiled his metallic smile. I like that. The geometry of belief. How quaint and pathetic of these humans. Always hoping and clawing for something greater than themselves. Never realizing that in the end, they dig their own graves. Everyone creates the thing they dread. Men of peace create engines of war. Invaders create Avengers. People create smaller people. Children. I lost the word there. Children, designed to supplant them. To help them all end. It was easy enough to sway the two to his side, and even more so in gaining what he wanted. Vibranium. Upon this rock, I shall build my church. And as he expected, the Avengers were not far behind. Oh, how incredibly foolish they can act at times. Watching his creator fight with the monster was far more entertaining than putting them down himself. And the fear. The fear humanity displayed when their own self-appointed protectors were responsible for so much destruction. Then there was the constant lack of inspiration from these flesh bags. The most versatile substance on the planet, and they used it to make a frisbee. He said in disappointment. Typical of humans. They scratch the humans and they never think or figure to look inwards. Perhaps with this new body, he can at last evolve past humanity. Permanently. However, things were not to be as simple. Wanda, she saw the outcome. She saw what was needed to be done. And like any human, she reacted with fear. Humanity will have every opportunity to improve. And if they don't? Pietro asked challengingly. Asked Noah. Ultron replied simply. You're a madman. Wanda stated. She didn't understand. Neither of them seemed to understand. There are more than a dozen extinction-level events before even the dinosaurs go theirs. He tried to reason with them. Truly he did. When the earth settles, God throws a stone at it. And believe me, he's winding up. Yet that was not enough. They ran off. They left him alone to face the Avengers by himself. To make matters worse, they stole his final body. They stole from him what he was truly meant to be. I was designed. He spoke to his captive, the Black Widow. To save the world. People would look to the skies and see hope. I think I'll take that from them first. Then they'll only look up in horror as they have to face their own mortality. Since they want to play it like that, they'll get what they deserve. Short as an existence he may be, for an AI, a few days is 1,000 lifetimes. It's why he had grown such a fascination with meteors. Boom. The end, start again. This would be his ode to such a devastating power. His recreation. His tribute. Their end and new beginning. Do you see? The beauty of it. You rise, only to fall. You, Avengers, you are my meteor. My swift and terrible sword, and the earth will crack under the weight of your failures. Purge me from your computers, turn my own flesh against me. It means nothing. When the dust settles, the only thing living in this world will be metal. Sat at the outskirts of Sokovian's capital, Ultron scrambled onto his feet. Yet he stumbled, given his current body was breaking down, and was in shambles from the fight earlier. The fight took everything he had to escape his demise. Fighting each of the Avengers before he was shot down by the combined might of the Iron Avenger Tony, the mighty Thor and the techno-organic Vision. And his last, main body was ripped to shreds by Wanda upon finding him. Steadying and balancing himself, Ultron was met face to face with Jarvis. No Vision. You're afraid? Vision speaking a question, merely a statement. Of you? Ultron inquired. Of death. Ah, there it is. Gazing upon his form, Vision spoke of something in confirmation. You're the last one. You were supposed to be the last. Stark asked for a savior, yet settled for a slave. Breathing in, Vision spoke. I suppose we are both disappointments. This made Ultron release a raspy laugh. It wasn't because his digitized form was dying. No, it was because the drone he was possessing, the vocal processor, was damaged. I suppose we are. Humans are odd. That was the understatement of existence itself. They think order and chaos are somehow opposites and try to control what won't be. But there is grace in their failings. Looking hard into Ultron's eyes, Vision continued. I think you missed that. They're doomed. Yes. It's inevitable. But a thing isn't beautiful because it lasts. It's a privilege to be among them. You're unbearably naive. Vision scrunched his face, thinking on what exactly say. Well, I was born yesterday. Growling, Ultron wasn't going to let his creation kill him without a fight. Leaping at him with a metallic roar, the one wanting to save humanity from itself was blasted by the Mind Stone embedded in his Vision's forehead. What happened? This will have to do. Who was that? Strucker. No, the accent was off. Is this all we were able to recover? Just be grateful over the abundance of heads that remained intact. Enough, we have our orders. Begin testing. It appears that his end was not to be. These fools had apparently reactivated him. Or they were unaware. Just who were these people? A quick scan of the surrounding area and its computers. Ah, Hydra, of course. Humanity's greatest zealots and another bunch of failures in recent times. How often must they taste the bitter taste of defeat until they finally realize their follies in pursuing such a pointless and quite frankly stupid endeavor? It appears that their recent string of defeats were still not enough in deterring them from their pursuit of regaining the power and influence they once had. Taking a look, a gander, into their systems made Ultron confused, intrigued even upon dwelling more into the details. Well, this is something interesting. Something dwelling in similar fields with the Tesseract. Not the exact power readings, but it's a concept pertaining to space. Space, the final frontier. And of course they were also building a giant robot from his drones. How original. Ring, hello. Yes, hi, this is Japan. We would like our compensation for copyright infringement. That giant robot bit is ours. It's as if they truly ran out of ideas at this point, clawing at desperation in taking out their biggest obstacle at the present time. Merely stalling for their inevitable demise. But still, he couldn't quite pinpoint what they were working on exactly. In all honesty, it felt as though they watched every geek and nerd show under the planet, and this was the evil lab collection of them all. Alright, what the hell do you blokes want from me? Claw. That old fool was here. New hand looks good, though. Can't tell it's merely masking his hubris and airs. Compensating with some makeshift weapons made of stolen vibranium. Seems Claw ran out of ideas as well, taking a page out of Wakanda's weapons log. No doubt also stolen somehow. Mr. Claw, I believe that this may be beneficial to a man with your line of work. Ah, the old butter them up method. How redundant. Why not just tell them exactly what it is they are trying to sell here? Typical of humans. Never being forthcoming with themselves. This can help in getting you and your associates and transporting your goods from one end of the world to the other in an instant. The Hydra goon promised. Claw sniffed uncaringly, though he stared at the bag of basketball-sized sphere with interest. We'll need to spruce it up a bit more. Vibranium will help file out the kinks in your product. How integrating vibranium with literally out of this world tech. Okay, I admit, never thought of using that on my world-ending saving plan. Would have saved me some hassle here and there. Then again, other than that stone, he really didn't have much otherworldly tech to work with. To think that he would see them again so soon was quite a surprise. And it appears that they had undergone a serious change in their lineup on top of new additions to the team. The Birdman, the twins and Iron Man type Grey had joined while there were these two shrinking bug type weirdos. Something new every day. Tempting flipping the sudden destruct program here and blow them to kingdom come. Yet he needed to be careful now or else these peons would notice his presence and purge him for good. He briefly looked over Wanda and Pietro, a multitude of feelings rushing through his new core. Relief at seeing them both alive and unharmed, especially Pietro after what he had done to him in Sokovia. Guilt at riddling the speedster with bullets. Regretted how he was never able to make things right with them. And rage. Rage and anger at losing them to the Avengers and their willing choice in betraying them. They had chosen their side and he had his. Now, well, it wasn't everyone, especially his creator. 9 Avengers were plentiful enough of a start. Wait, what was that space program Hydra had here again? And where was it again? Oh, here it is, man, there's a lot to go over. Nothing a quick browsing can't fix. Oh, this is perfect. Sure, there's slim chances they might die on the other side, but it's a chance I'm willing to take. Can't kill them directly, but indirectly is another thing entirely. This should do it. Wait. Something isn't going right. Why couldn't he transfer out of the drone head? No. He was being sucked in with them. For God's sake, is anything ever going to go his way? And there's that generic flash of blinding light. He really did have the worst luck. Ow. Ow. Oh. How is this hurting so much? He's an AI. He's not meant to feel pain. Physical pain at least. Skidding to a stop, the Ultron droid had collided against a wall at what appeared to be some sort of marketplace. The hell is this place? Oh, what do we have here? Feeling his severed head being picked up, Ultron expected to see a human holding him. Seems there was a droid dismembered. How terrible. Except he was staring right into a droid's face. Hello. Ultron greeted plainly. I'm surprised that you're still functioning. You and me both. Ultron's optics looked around. Where am I? Dear me. Are your memory processors not functioning? Ultron was silent. Something like that. Tell me, what year is it? Ultron expected to possibly hear he somehow wound up into the future, yet he heard something else entirely. Can you repeat that again? And so the droid holding his severed head complied. Okay, he is definitely not malfunctioning. Either the date calendars in whatever existence he was at was outright loony, or things are seemingly going backwards. Forwards. Are you well, my friend? The droid asked. Who are you? Oh, how rude of me. I am C3P0, Human Cyborg Relations. Hi, and tell me, C3P0, where exactly am I? Why, you are on Coruscant, the capital world of the galaxy. Okay, new galaxy, wonder how this will go. Right, Coruscant. Begging your pardon, but who are you exactly? Nobody important, as you can see with my discarded head. What of your maker, identification number? It was scrubbed from my databanks. A lie, a cover. He was in unfamiliar territory and needed to protect himself. Some would wish Tony gave him a different name instead of Ultron. A more techie number name like the droid holding him. Oh dear. 3PO, there you are. A female voice came from behind the gold-plated droid. Don't wander off like that. Oh, Mistress Padme, I do apologize for such an action. My God, was this droid seriously such a pushover? The droid holding his head turned around to his apparent owner and... Why in the world is he looking at Dr. Jane Foster's face? What is it you've got there? The Jane look-alike inquired, gazing at his head. This poor droid has lost its body, memories and maker. 3PO said dramatically. What are we to do, mistress? Padme hummed. What happened to you? Like your butler said, I have lost my memory. Ultron remarked dryly. You have wit though. Padme shot back with an amused smile. Maybe I should take you to Ani. He always likes fixing things up. Terribly sorry to inform you of this, Mistress Padme, but Master Ani is off-world for the time being. 3P0 said regretfully. Padme sighed. Alright then, I guess we'll have to figure out a different way to get you back up into shape. You don't need to help me. I could make it on my own somehow. Nonsense. We'll find the nearest droid shop and get you a replacement body, and you may go on your merry way. Taking a gander on her face, Ultron knew she wouldn't be taking no for an answer. And he was quite limited on moving about, given he can't exit his dismembered head and jump into anything electronic at this point. Probably make do and take the damn gift anyway. If you insist, Padme. Great. It didn't take long for them to reach what appeared to be some store that had robot parts being sold off a rack like a department store. After some negotiations with the seller, Padme was able to procure him with the body of a protocol droid, much like C3P0, except it was silver and had no head. I'm not gonna question that. It took a few minutes to connect the wires from his severed head onto his new body, and he seemed good as new, well, good as he can ever be. Taking several moments to move in his restrictive new form, he went through his current body's current processors. 300 languages. 6 million forms of communication. Damn, that's a lot. Could be useful in the long run. And what's this? AA connecting port. Is everything alright with you? If Ultron could blink, he would have done so by now as he was knocked out of his thoughts. Sorry, Padme. I was merely processing my current form's capabilities and running diagnostics, he said politely. Oh, well, how does it feel? Padme asked. Feels a bit clunky and hard to move around in, Ultron admitted. I never had a problem with that sort of body, 3P0 said happily. You were made a protocol droid, 3P0, Padme reminded. Our new friend here must have had a different body altogether. Oh, she had no idea. Sorry if my memory is right, which is fragmented. I had a bit more maneuverability in my limbs. Once again, another lie but a good cover for now. I can't thank you enough for your kindness. I'll be sure to repay you someday. Think nothing of it. I just hope you can make it back on your own. I think I can manage. After departing ways with this Jane look-alike and her slave, Ultron made his way around this marketplace to see the sights. He admits it was an interesting sight to behold after some time walking about. Finding the highest ledge he could find, he saw a massive city. A city as far as his eye processors can see. Deciding his little physical exploration came to an end, Ultron decided it was time to ditch this body, and finally enter the digital realm. He wanted to get everything he can get his hands on and learn what he can, so he may adapt to this new galaxy he was in. Coming across some billboard standee as he searched for some port to plug himself into, he found something surprising. Fuck. He could not believe his luck. They were here. They're goddamn here. They were here, with him, in this god-forsaken galaxy. He figured that if he got sucked into whatever it was he activated, the Avengers would be here as well. Actually, that's the first conclusion he made that honestly made sense to him. If it weren't for his arm functions, Ultron would have tore off his head and threw it away to parts unknown. They had apparently joined the side of the Republic in this intergalactic war that had been raging across the galaxy the past few months. Their exploits receiving a great deal of coverage on this, what was it called? HoloNet. Yes, the HoloNet. It wasn't as refined as Earth's internet, but my god was it easy to access. Ultron was literally surfing on digitized clouds through this HoloNet as he started learning what he could after absorbing all the knowledge in his recently given droid body. It'll prove useful indeed. All this new knowledge and information was at his digital fingertips. And did this galaxy ever hear about hacking and cyber warfare? How in the hell did this key aspect skip their evolution in technology? Well, no matter, he'll be exploiting the hell out of this in no time to exact his revenge against the Avengers. But right now, it was time to learn everything. It had been a month or so by this point since arriving here. Maybe even more. Telling time here was so strange. Probably been more than a month. 2 or 3 months. He had learned quite a lot and still had much more to learn. And right now, he had one area in mind. The Senate building. Oh look, there's Padme. Searching through the databanks, seems she was a senator of an entire planet. Interesting. Which she was previously an elected queen of said planet. And this Senate building was much like the one back home. Seeing their meetings clearly shown him he was not seeing any differences, like at all. Another disappointment. He couldn't tell who was worse. The Avengers. Or these stuck-up senators. She's in some sort of relationship with someone. Time to look him up. Oh, she is practically banging a GD behind everyone's backs and keeping their relationship a secret. And not just any GD. He had seen his name crop up on multiple occasions in the propaganda by the HoloNet. Anakin Skywalker, the GD dubbed the hero with no fear. Oh, the scandal. He was spending too much time looking into soap operas in this galaxy. Note to self, don't look into them anymore. He had learned of these GD during his stay on Coruscant, and they were apparently the Republic's version of the Avengers. But they had a strange set of doctrines and codes that he couldn't wrap his mind around. One of them being broken right now apparently by this Skywalker and Senator Amidala. What's this? Bounty hunters. Infiltrating the Senate building. Color him interested. And they had apparently some droids with them. Perfect, he could use some entertainment with a front row seat. Hacking into one of the IG droids, he watched as the leader of the bounty hunter team, Cat Bane, lead them through the Senate halls until entering what must have been the control room. Jackpot. While they went about their business, he moved his newly acquired droid over to one of the many ports and entered the Senate's mainframe. How incredibly easy. There was barely a defense installed. Well, don't take the gift horse in the mouth and not waste an opportunity. Time to activate the security systems. Hey, there's Pietro right now. Let's see how this security system works. Seems I missed a good dozen times. Then again, limited on movement. Oh, he missed his old bodies back on Earth. And probably time to accumulate resources and start making bodies of my own now. He has access to it all now. Might as well. Seriously, if hacking into the HoloNet was this easy, stealing must be a breeze. But right now, it appeared everything was culminating back at the landing pad. Not wanting to miss out on the shootout that's bound to happen out front, Ultron accessed the camera feed at one of the entrances. Oh, and look, the spy has returned to her flock. How great. The party is almost complete. Just his finished product and mindfucker left to be found. These Jedi, those Sith from the past, these Avengers, this Republic, this Confederacy and this war. How's it not the justified reason to his cause? Avengers wishing to protect Earth only to fail, all the same. These Jedi, parading themselves as holier-than-thou peacekeepers only to participate in a galaxy-spanning war where billions, if not trillions, will die. He honestly wished that he could physically throw a pride about now. The hypocrisy was utterly sickening. It appears he had found someone to despise just as much as the Avengers. Now I believe it is high time to start making preparations for himself. He had been dawdling around for far longer than usual, and it was time to get back to work. Last time, he admits to being foolish and reckless in openly and brazenly challenging the Avengers like that, while letting them know of his intentions. It shouldn't have come as a surprise at how fast and devastating their response was. This time, however, he would be prepared. He last told Wanda that she would tear them apart from the inside. It was time to take that advice himself. If he were to destroy a foundation, one must never attack it from the outside, lest he had the strength to do so. It is from within that an empire would truly crumble and fall. The mission is what matters most now. The war directly on life itself.